Effective style from the mature man is not a pursuit of vanity, but a strategic projection of authority, self awareness, and a refined understanding of one's identity in a rapidly evolving world. Younger women possess a sharp, often unspoken eye for the subtle cues that differentiate a man who is aging with grace from one who is struggling to remain relevant. And when an older man commits specific style errors, it signals a lack of attention to detail or an insecurity regarding his stage in life. The most immediate indicator of a man's style intelligence is the physical fit of his garments, yet many older men fall into the trap of wearing clothes that are several sizes too large under the mistaken belief that extra fabric hides weight gain or provides comfort. In reality, oversized clothing creates a melting silhouette that makes the wearer appear shorter, heavier, and less disciplined, while attempting to squeeze into slim fit trends designed for 20-year-old physiques is equally detrimental as it highlights physical aging rather than masking it. The objective must always be a tailored fit where the shoulder seams sit exactly where the arm meets the torso and the trousers have a clean line, because a younger woman notices the silhouette and the control it projects before she ever notices the brand. Grooming mistakes represent another critical area of failure, usually manifesting as either total neglect or desperate overcorrection. Neglect is seen in visible ear and nose hair, unruly eyebrows, and poorly maintained facial hair, all of which suggest a man has stopped caring about his presentation, while overcorrection leads to the uncanny valley of grooming, such as using flat, shoe polish black hair dye or aggressive chemical treatments that leave the skin looking plastic and unnatural. Younger women value authenticity and are far more attracted to a man who embraces his silver hair with an expert cut and maintains high standards of dental hygiene and skincare, signaling a systemic level of self-care that matches his life experience. This attention to detail extends to footwear, which is the foundation of any outfit, yet many men remain tethered to outdated relics like square-toed dress shoes or confusing hybrid dress shoe sneakers that look indecisive and clunky. A younger woman notices if a man is wearing comfortable Velcro shoes or beat-up dad sneakers for a social outing, as these choices suggest he has prioritized convenience over character, whereas a classic Chelsea boot or a minimalist leather sneaker suggests a man who still respects the environments he enters. There is a profound difference between being modern and being trendy, and one of the most glaring mistakes an older man can make is adopting youth-chasing aesthetics like heavy streetwear, hoodies with giant logos, or ripped skinny jeans. This behavior is often interpreted as a midlife crisis aesthetic, signaling that the man is uncomfortable with his age and is trying to camouflage himself among a younger demographic, which ironically causes him to lose his primary competitive advantage, the perceived wisdom and stability that a younger woman finds attractive. Instead of chasing fleeting trends, the mature man should focus on quiet luxury, utilizing high-quality fabrics and neutral palettes that suggest a level of success that doesn't need to scream for attention. This principle applies to accessories as well, where the mistake is often over-accessorizing with heavy gold chains, multiple rings, or oversized, flashy watches that look like an overcompensation for a lack of genuine substance. A single, well-chosen watch, proportionate to the wrist, and a slim card holder that doesn't distort the line of the trousers are the marks of a man who understands that accessories should be the period at the end of a sentence rather than the entire conversation. Fragrance mismanagement also acts as a silent but powerful deterrent, as many older men stick to heavy, musky scents from their youth or apply far too much, creating a wall of scent that precedes them into a room. A younger woman's sense of smell is highly acute, and she perceives fragrance as a discovery to be made in close proximity rather than an announcement made from 10 feet away. Therefore, the mature man must move away from synthetic drugstore sprays toward niche perfumery with complex notes like sandalwood or vetiver that suggest sophistication. Finally, the quality of the fabric itself serves as a final litmus test, as sticking to synthetic blends and polyester shirts that shine under artificial light makes a man look like he is struggling financially or lacks the taste to know better. Transitioning to natural fibers like wool, silk, cotton, and linen changes how the clothes move with the body and how they are perceived by others, as these materials breathe and drape in a way that synthetic fast fashion never can. By eliminating these 7 errors, poor fit, improper grooming, outdated footwear, youth chasing, over-accessorizing, fragrance overload, and cheap materials, a man shifts his narrative from being a relic of the past to becoming a timeless classic who commands respect without saying a single word. One of the most nuanced mistakes older men make is failing to adjust their color palette as their skin and hair pigmentation change. In youth, high contrast colors such as stark black or vibrant primary tones may have complemented a high contrast physical appearance. However, as skin loses some of its natural saturation and hair turns silver or white, these aggressive colors can wash out the face, making the man appear sickly or tired. A younger woman observes the vibrancy of a man's health through his complexion. Continuing to wear harsh, saturated colors creates a visual disconnect. The solution is to transition toward earth tones and muted mid-tones, charcoal gray instead of stark black, navy instead of electric blue, and forest green or burgundy. These shades provide a sophisticated backdrop that allows the natural character of an aging face to stand out as a strength rather than a weakness. The mistake is clinging to the colors of one's 30s while living in one's 50s, which signals a lack of visual self-awareness. Style is not limited to clothing. It extends to the objects a man carries. Many older men undermine a perfectly tailored suit by pulling out a bulky, ruggedized phone case, a clip-on belt holster for a mobile device, or using outdated, wired headphones in a social setting where they are inappropriate. These tech relics signal a man who is technically stagnant. To a younger woman who grew up in the digital age, these choices represent a generational divide that feels insurmountable. It suggests that the man is stuck in a specific era of utility over aesthetics. Modern style requires a seamless integration of technology. This means opting for slim, leather-bound phone cases, minimalist laptop bags instead of nylon backpacks, and high-quality wireless audio. When a man's technology matches the sophistication of his wardrobe, he projects a message of being a modern master of his environment, rather than someone who is being left behind by it. A common mistake that is often categorized under style is the failure to maintain the physical architecture required to pull off high-end clothing. As men age, there is a tendency toward forward head posture and rounded shoulders, often exacerbated by decades of desk work. An older man can wear a $5,000 bespoke suit, but if his posture is collapsed, the suit will look like it is hanging on a rack rather than being worn by a person of influence. Younger women are biologically tuned to look for signs of vitality and strength. Poor posture suggests a lack of core strength and, by extension, a lack of discipline. This is a style mistake because it ruins the drape of the clothing. A man who stands tall with his chest open and shoulders back gives his clothing the frame it needs to look expensive. The style mistake here is the belief that the clothes can do the work for you. In reality, the man provides the structure, and the clothes provide the polish. Without the structure, the polish looks like a disguise. Many older men fall into the trap of having a one-note wardrobe. They are either always overdressed in a formal suit or always underdressed in casual athletic wear, regardless of the venue. This lack of situational fluidity is a major red flag for younger women. Being the only man in a casual lounge wearing a full three-piece suit doesn't make you look classy. It makes you look like you are trying too hard to assert status. Conversely, wearing cargo shorts to a high-end dinner is a mark of disrespect for the establishment and your company. The mistake is a failure to understand social context. A stylish older man knows how to dress down a suit with a high-quality knit polo or dress up dark denim with a structured blazer. This versatility shows a high level of social intelligence. It tells a younger woman that you understand the nuances of different social spheres and can navigate them effortlessly. The inability to adapt your style to the specific energy of an event suggests a rigid personality that is often associated with the negative stereotypes of aging. For many men, the need for corrective lenses is the first major sign of aging, and many handle it poorly by using cheap plastic readers purchased from a pharmacy or sticking to wireframes that were popular 20 years ago. Eyewear is one of the most prominent features of a man's face, yet it is often the most neglected. The wrong frames can add 10 years to a man's appearance. A younger woman notices the frames immediately because she looks at your eyes during a conversation. Rimless or thin wire frames often look dated and medical. Transitioning to bold, well-proportioned acetate frames in tortoiseshell, navy, or matte black can transform the face, making it look more intellectual and intentional. It turns a biological necessity into a deliberate style choice. The mistake is treating glasses as a problem to be solved rather than an accessory to be curated. Bye. As body composition changes, many older men continue to wear their trousers under their gut, which creates a disproportionate visual image where the legs appear short and the torso appears unnaturally long. This is compounded by the use of thin, flimsy belts that struggle to hold the weight of the trousers, leading to constant adjusting throughout the day. A younger woman perceives this as a lack of physical pride. The style correction is twofold. First, choosing trousers with a slightly higher rise that sits closer to the natural waist, creating a cleaner line from the hip to the floor. Second, using substantial, high-quality leather belts with simple, elegant buckles. Avoid the logo buckle trend, which is a hallmark of the youth chaser. A man who understands how to manage his proportions through his waistline looks taller, leaner, and more formidable. Finally, a glaring mistake is the inability to dress for the seasons. This includes wearing heavy winter leather jackets in late spring because it's the only cool item the man owns, or wearing thin, summery fabrics in the dead of winter. This lack of seasonal awareness suggests a limited wardrobe and a lack of preparation. Layering is the hallmark of a sophisticated dresser. An older man should utilize gilets, cardigans, overcoats, and scarves to create depth in his outfits. For a younger woman, a man who knows how to layer effectively appears more put together and prepared for any change in environment. It suggests a life of travel and varied experiences. The mistake is relying on a single hero piece of clothing for every weather condition, which quickly becomes repetitive and uninspired.